Alright, what's up, y'all? It's your boy CoolStoryBrobat with another among the last of the UU Open Round 1 replays I'm going to be putting up because I really need to get to Round 2. There's dozens of Round 1 replays that I'm sorry I'm not able to put up. I know there's a lot of highlight matches in there that probably got skipped over by me, but just doing this alone took me a week, and I don't want to get too far behind because the actual tournament itself is in Round 4 right now, going to Round 5 very soon. But let's focus on this. This battle is a very well-known player, Sacri, very established, great player, always expecting some great content from this guy whenever he's in a match, against Marshall.Law. Now, I don't know much about Marshall.Law. I hate having to sell opponents short just because I don't know much about them, but that's not to say that he isn't able to beat this guy. This is the UU Open. Anybody can take anybody. Marshall.Law has apparently brought the Cookies team, which as of my last video, I am now very familiar with. He has the Scarf Infernape, the Blissey, the Caesar that I don't remember the set to, but it might be Defog, the Stealth Rock Mega Swampert, the Defensive Chestnut, and the Vincoon. Now Sacri here, I think he actually has the advantage in terms of the teams, because it's looking like he's got a Scarf Mienshao. That Latias is probably a Calm Mindset, which already has a great matchup against this guy's team, especially if it runs Hidden Power Fire. Even if it doesn't run HP Fire, something else can deal with Caesar for Latias. That looks like it might be a Stealth Rock Mega Swampert, if not a Defensive Swampert in itself, a Defog Empoleon, a bulky Swords Dance Caesar, if not something like Choice Band. I just feel like he might be bulky Swords Dance, that's just what I'm thinking, and possibly a Nasty Plot Togekiss. Caesar, Latias, Togekiss, these are all good setup sweepers that have a good advantage against this kind of a team. Like Nasty Plot Togekiss with Heal Belt, it can take advantage of Blissey, it ignores the status that it gets afflicted with, and it can eventually just flinch Blissey to pieces and do so to the rest of this guy's team if he's not careful. Now, I mean, Vincoon is a threat to Sacri's team, but he has ways of playing around it. He does have the Latias, he has ways of breaking his substitute, but he just has to be careful. Now, Mienshao can put some holes in his team, but he has to watch out for Protect from Suicune and Spiky Shield from Chestnut, and Caesar's Priority Bullet Punch, of course. So how this match is going to go is, well, really it can go either way. So let's find out. So Mienshao versus Mega Swampert here. The Mienshao is going to go for the U-turn. Marshall.Law Swampert is going to Mega Evolve and go for the Stealth Rocks early game. He brings Empoleon in. Now you know this has to be a Sugar Berry Empoleon. Takes the Earthquake because of that berry and kills the Swampert with a Grass Knot. Classic lore. I feel like Marshall.Law should have seen that coming and tried to do something else, but he sends in his Infernape to revenge kill with Blaze Kick. Interesting option on Infernape. I've never seen a Scarf Infernape with Blaze Kick. I'm not a fan personally, but I get it, I guess. It deals fire damage without having to deal recoil, which I guess is okay, but we're getting distracted here. So basically, the Chestnut comes in, Togekiss comes in on the Chestnut, takes a Leech Seed. Marshall.Law brings in his Blissey on this Togekiss. The Togekiss doesn't want to sit in front of the Blissey with the Leech Seed up, so he's going to go to his Caesar. Dodges the Toxic, very fortunately. And now Caesar is going to do something here. It's either going to Swords Dance or it's going to U-turn. But the Blissey busts out a surprise Flamethrower. Deals a nice chunk of damage to that Caesar. Cool technique. I actually did not even see that one coming. But thankfully it's bulky Caesar, so it's able to take the Flamethrower pretty easily. Togekiss Nasty Plots on this Blissey. It gets hit with the Toxic. This is likely to have Heal Bell, if not Flamethrower. It does have Heal Bell, so it's able to cure itself of the Toxic Poisoning. Blissey throws up a Wish, and who is going to receive it? But Blissey itself. The Togekiss goes for Air Slash. Unfortunately, it does not flinch. However, one-on-one Togekiss can come out on top in this matchup if it flinches down this Blissey after going to +6. However, Marshall.Law is going to make this as hard as possible by going for Toxic on this Togekiss in order to burn it out of Heal Bell PP. Togekiss is going to just Nasty Plot here. Can't keep wasting Heal Bell, you know, so he most likely is going to Heal Bell here if not Air Slash. Yeah, Heal Bell here. Marshall.Law predicted that. Went to Caesar on him. He has to switch out because he doesn't want to take this Bullet Punch. He wants to see what the Caesar is working with. So he's going to go to his Swampert. Swampert takes a big chunk from that U-turn. That's going to hurt. And then he U-turns in the Chestnut, which forces the Swampert back out. Brings in Togekiss. Takes the Leech Seed. Pretty unfortunate. Marshall.Law's playing him off here. He's using his bulky defensive core. He's using his resistances to play around Sacri's threats, and he's just basically going to try to keep him at bay for as long as possible. With Lee seed up, Togekiss is not going to be able to set up against Blissey and win one-on-one, especially factoring Toxic and Heal Bell's limited PP. So Togekiss is going to have to go out. He goes back into his Scizor, and he pretty much sacrifices it to the hazards. So it's looking kind of tough for Sacri, but not impossible here. He sends in Mienshao as Blissey goes for the Wish, but Mienshao goes for the U-turn, thankfully, because if he went for high jump kick, he would have lost half his health on that Protect. So he goes for the U-turn, I guess more or less scouting to see if this Blissey had Protect or not. Blissey goes for another Wish again, brings in Togekiss. Just as long as he can keep this Togekiss healthy, he will always have a fighting chance. Togekiss is going to roost as the Scizor receives the Wish and gets healed back up to full HP. Now, Sacri has to basically pick something to sacrifice here. He's going to go with Mega Swampert. Mega Swampert is going to have to go down, takes the Bullet Punch. Obviously, the hazards have made it succumb to it. He sends in Latios, so hopefully we're seeing some HP fire here. Marshall.Law scouts the Latios by going to his Blissey, takes the HP fire, and now it's kind of a question of, is this Scarf? I think this might be Scarf Latios, or it might be Soldew with HP fire. Not entirely sure. Blissey throws up a Wish, goes for the Protect here. Sacri tries to high jump kick the Blissey, gets greeted by a Protect. There's not really much more he can do. He has to get on the offensive, unfortunately. So Marshall.Law is going to sacrifice his Infernape to this thing, because by this point all he has to do is just get Scizor in and just start bullet punching Sacri's team up. So he bullet punches the Mienshao, knocks that straight out. He goes to Latios. There's not a whole lot he can really do here. Now if he busts out a trick, and this is Scarf Latios, then he'll be in good business. But he goes for HP fire. He could also be a Z-move Latios, I forgot to mention that. He could be Z-move, but I feel like, okay, he is. So he's setting up the Calm Mind here. He's setting up the Calm Mind, so obviously he's going to be taking a Toxic from this Blissey as he goes for CM. But he's not going to let that stop him. He's going to try to fight this one out as hard as possible. I feel like he should have deployed this Latios a lot sooner, but playing around that Toxic Blissey would be quite annoying. So the Blissey is going to throw a Wish up to Suicune, and basically it's going to be a combination of Blissey and Latios trying to Protect stall. But he kills the Suicune with a Z Psy-Shock. Breaks that Suicune down. Oh, Z Psychic, I'm sorry. Breaks the Chestnut down. But his team is going to be, unfortunately, too weak to carry on, and they're going to both, Latios and Togekiss, be susceptible to Bullet Punch from this offensive Scizor, by the looks of things. And that's going to be all she wrote for game 1. Marshall.Law takes that one against Sacri. Pretty good match right there. So I guess I stand corrected. Sacri wasn't able to utilize his offensive threats against Marshall.Law's defensive threats. He played the team very well. You know, he took advantage of the fact that, you know, he had a safe switch in for all of Sacri's Mons. And I guess to amplify it further, the Latios not running Psy-Shock but having Psychic also kind of hindered him, because Blissey was the hardest thing to break down. The only other Mon besides Scizor that was really capable of breaking down Blissey reliably would have been Mega Swampert. I mean, Mienshao could have, but it hates having to risk Protect on the high jump kick, so that's not really a reliable way to break it down. Hopefully, Sacri is able to redeem himself in game 2, and that this can even go into a game 3. He does not want to get shut out here, and I can understand why. So let's see how this goes following in game 2. Alright, so game 2, Marshall.Law versus Sacri. Marshall.Law is looking like Lavos right now. He's using the same teams Lavos used in that previous battle I uploaded, except in a different order. This time he brings out the Azelf Hyper Offense. Now I'm not sure if these guys both got their teams off somebody else. That's likely to be what happened, but you can't sleep on it because people can change sets around, and that can throw people off, catch them off guard with a surprise that they did not see coming. But anyway, far as we are aware, Marshall.Law is using a team that boasts a Sash lead Azelf, an offensive Scizor, a Flame Orb Completer, a Life Orb Honchkrow, a Latios that I think is like a Calm Mind with a Z move, and a Sharpedo. Mega Sharpedo, of course. Now Sacri's team here, he's got some bulk here. I want to say I think this is a defog Togekiss, probably with like Thunder Wave or some crap that is defog. I don't know if he's Nasty Plot. I mean, he might still be Nasty Plot, but it's looking like defog. He's got like a Stealth Rock Mega Swampert that has to be Stealth Rock Mega Swampert because nothing else on this team can set up rocks. Probably Scarf Hydreigon, probably an offensive Scizor with Swords Dance, probably a Flame Orb Conkeldurr, and a Xurkitree that just has whatever the heck moves it wants because Xurkitree is a threat with no bad sets. I mean, it could be Tail Glow, it could be Shuka Berry, it could be Zap Plate, it could be Substitute, it could be Z Hypnosis, it could really be anything. Now, if it was up to me, I'd say I think this is a Z Hypnosis Xurkitree. Nothing else on this team looks like it's really packing a Z move, except maybe Togekiss. If it's like Nasty Plot with like Z Aura Sphere or Flamethrower or something. But, like I said, I think that's a Z Hypnosis Xurkitree if I had to choose. If not something like Specs or whatever. So, whether Marshall.Law is going to be able to keep this from going into a Game 3 depends on whether or not he can avoid making mistakes. Because he's using Hyper Offense. Hyper Offense is very dependent on playing right. Because if you mess up with Hyper Offense, you'll get punished very badly for it. And Sacri has counterplayed to every one of his offensive threats on this Hyper Offense team. Like Scizor, he's got a Swampert and his own Scizor and a Xurkitree. Conkeldurr, he's got a Togekiss. Honchkrow, he's got a Scizor and a Xurkitree. Latias, he has a Scizor and a Hydreigon. Sharpedo, well, we'll get to that. Anyway, he leads off with Azelf. Hydreigon reveals that his Scarf hits it with a U-turn as Azelf gets the Stealth Rock up. Sacri goes to Scizor. Bullet punches this Azelf in the face. Shows he's Life Orb Scizor, so very offensive SD Scizor. Honchkrow comes in to revenge kill to Scizor. Sacri goes to Xurkitree on this Brave Bird, takes a huge amount from it. Now, Marshall.Law makes a prediction here. I guess he expects Sacri to switch out to something else to try to, like, Hydreigon, and he clicks Brave Bird again. But Xurkitree actually stayed in to Volt Switch to Honchkrow, gets that out of the way. So, it's a trade. He brings in Swampert. Marshall.Law brings in Scizor. Scizor sets up an SD. I guess he wasn't expecting Mega Swampert to be faster than the Scizor, but it is indeed faster. And it finishes off this Scizor with an Earthquake followed by a Waterfall. He brings in Conkeldurr, does an Earthquake, a nice crisp 50% of this Conkeldurr's health. However, it's going to recover with Drain Punch on the Swampert, killing it in the process. Sacri sends in Togekiss on his Conkeldurr. Obviously, you don't want to keep a Conkeldurr in on a Togekiss, so he switches out to his Latias. Calm Mind Latias can actually take on Togekiss one-on-one if it wasn't for the fact that this is a Thunder Wave Togekiss. So that idea kind of went out the window. However, Psyshock still does a decent amount to this thing, but he's going to switch to his Sharpedo here. I guess he was expecting the Togekiss to roost, but instead his Sharpedo is greeted with a loss of 92% of its health. It finishes off the Togekiss, and Scizor comes in to revenge kill the Sharpedo, bullet punches that thing in the face. Conkeldurr comes in on a Scizor. Scizor bullet punches this Conkeldurr. It takes a surprisingly low amount of damage from this Life Orb Scizor, and is able to Drain Punch this Scizor. So, you know, Sacri's just going to keep bullet punching. Marshall.Law is going to go to his Latias to let Scizor die to Life Orb Recoil. Sacri's going to go to Hydreigon, Dark Pulse this Latias in the face, kill it off. He's going to send in Conkeldurr to revenge the Hydreigon. Most likely he's just sacrificing Xurkitree so that he could get in his own Conkeldurr safely. And this is pretty much going to be a matter of, you know, watching two clowns fight. You know, Sacri's Conkeldurr appears to be faster. It appears that Marshall.Law might be running like a lot of HP on this thing. But Flame Orb activates on this Conkeldurr. That's pretty much going to be the nail in this Conkeldurr's coffin. So Sacri wins that game, takes the series to a Game 3. Congratulations, great job Sacri. Really looking forward to this next match. Now Marshall.Law did make some mistakes in that. He over-predicted with the Honchkrow. If he had Sucker Punched, the Xurkitree would not have been there to serve as death fodder later. That would have been a little bit of an extra advantage for him later. He also should not have tried to SD on the Mega Swampert. I guess, like I said, he probably wasn't expecting the Swampert to be faster than the Scizor, because usually Rock's Mega Swampert doesn't run a ton of speed, but this one did. So that caught him off guard. You know, his Scizor took a big chunk of health afterwards, and he would have really liked to keep his Scizor healthy for this match. But, you know, you learn from your mistakes. Now, let's see if Marshall.Law can avoid making any more in Game 3 of this series. So, Game 3 of this series, you can tell I'm getting kind of tired of seeing this Cookies team. I'm not going to talk about the team itself anymore because you kind of know by this point what it does. It's like the third time I've seen it within like 2 videos on this channel. But Sacri here, I think I've seen his team before too, I don't know. But he's bringing a very offensive Halucha team. Halucha, big threat to pretty much just about any team, but this team especially. If Halucha gets a substitute and a swords dance off safely, and Caesar is down, then it's over. It's over. Like, there's nothing you're doing. It's over. And it can set up an SD very safely against Chestnut if it doesn't have Roar, which I don't think it does. Not to mention, Circuitry is also a huge threat for this team. If it packs Tail Glow, Blissey's not even a safe answer for it. Nothing on this team. Like, if Circuitry has Tail Glow, Thunderbolt, and Grass Knot, Infernape's the only thing that's dealing with this thing one-on-one up front. Like, Chestnut, sure, it might be able to take a Thunderbolt and a Grass Knot, but Tail Glow also typically runs like, you know, it typically runs HP Ice, but I mean, even then, something like Z Hypnosis Circuitry with Tail Glow would still dominate this team, especially if Infernape is the thing that gets put to sleep. So, I really think Sacri's got this one in the bag, personally. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not underestimating the Cookies team here. But I mean, on top of Latios already being a dominant threat to this team, on top of Circuitry being an enormous threat to this team, on top of, you know, Weavile being annoying, all it's really a matter of is just either Latios luring Caesar, or Swampert killing it off, or Circuitry killing it off to open up a lane for Latios, or Halucha to sweep. I really just think I feel like he just took a lot of threats that this team is weak to, compiled them together, and here's the evidence in your face. So, honestly, here's how I'm gonna put it. If Sacri loses this series, it's his fault. That's what I would say. If he was to lose this battle right here, it would literally be his fault because he has every reason he should be able to win just based off on matchup alone. Now, Marshall.Law is a good player. He's not a bad opponent. But just the team advantage here is swing heavily in his favor. So, Swampert Lee versus a Circuitry. Swampert is scared of that Grass Knot. He does not want any parts of that. So the Blissey's going to come in on the Grass Knot. It's going to reveal that this Circuitry is probably Zap Plate with Volt Switch and Grass Knot. It probably has Tail Glow chilling in that 4th move slot. So, goes to Caesar on the Blissey. Brings in Chestnut, takes the superpower to the face. Chestnut catches the wish from the Blissey. He's gonna switch out, go to his Halucha as Chestnut sets up a layer of spikes. It's looking like a problem. So he swords dances as he goes into his Mega Swampert. Halucha is gonna high jump kick this Swampert in the face and sets up Stealth Rock on it because he thought the boy was gonna switch out, but he did not switch out. He wasted his Swampert. It's looking rough. It's looking rough, bro. So the Halucha high jump kicks this Suicune in the face, does not get burned. Is gonna high jump kick the Suicune again, gets the roll that finishes this thing off. Caesar is gonna come in, revenge kill the Halucha. I guess that is a banned Caesar, if not like a really offensive variant. But still, that Halucha put enough holes in his team for something like Circuitry or Latios to come through later. So just be very cautious. So the Circuitry is going to Thunderbolt as Blissey comes in, and then Volt Switch out. Swampert comes in, Blissey's going to try to set up a wish, most likely he's going to try to protect. I feel Sacri is going to attack here anyway, if not set up his own rocks. Well, he actually predicted the protect, he set up his own rocks. But Blissey is still hard pressed to switch out the Chestnut. Sacri predicts this, goes to his Latios as the Chestnut comes in. It's looking like a problem right now. He's going to double switch out to his Weavile as he predicts him to go to his Blissey or Caesar. He goes to Blissey, so he catches him with the prediction here. Nothing wants to take the knockoff. The only thing that could take a knockoff from here is going to have to deal with an Icicle Crash. That's Chestnut. But he sees the Blissey is going to switch out, so he catches it with a Pursuit. Sacri's making real aggressive plays up front right now. He's going to knock off this Infernape. The Infernape was actually choice banned. Wow. 3 games to this and I kept thinking it was Scarf. It was actually banned. That's crazy. So, yeah, it kills the Weavile, but he's in position now to bring in Caesar, threaten this thing at a -1 with Bullet Punch. He has to go to his Chestnut. I mean, Chestnut can eat the Bullet Punch, Sure, it can take the bullet punch. Caesar can swords dance up on this thing, and he's most likely packing roost. So I think one-on-one, Caesar can actually win this. But just to take it further, he bug bites this chestnut, takes the drain punch because Caesar is at such low health. Drain punch doesn't recover a lot back. He goes to his Latios, and it's looking like this is going to be clean. It's looking like this is going to be clean because Blissey is going to be taking a pretty big hit, especially if this is a Z move Latios. He powers up that Z move, hits him through the protect with Shattered Psyche. Obviously, it's not going to kill the Blissey, but it's going to be very close to being dead. Enough that a Draco Meteor is going to be able to finish it off just because of that Z move. So, Caesar comes here to try to clean up. He's going to switch in his Swampert, his Mega Swampert. He's going to let this take the U-turn, takes a big chunk of damage. He needs Latios in order to revenge kill the Infernape, so obviously I can understand why he would not go to that. He goes to his Latios here. He's most likely just going to click Psychic. Infernape Mach punches, it does jack all the Latios because it's friggin' Latios. Gets killed with a Psychic. He goes to his Caesar here. Now, he can reveal HP Fire, but I guess he may have had it, I don't know. It succumbed to the bullet punch. Berserkatry is going to be able to take this bullet punch and just fry this Caesar like nothing with Thunderbolt. And that's all she wrote, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. Good game, Sacri. He made the adjustments here. He played that match very aggressively, very offensively, in a manner that suited his team and managed to take advantage of the passiveness of Marshall.Law's team. Those double switches, those hazards, it all added up, it all paid off. So great job, congratulations on moving around to Sacri. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, favorite. I'm going to take a shower now. Peace.